Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Game Changer. I'm Maryam Zia. In today's program, we will be diving into Shanghai Cooperation Organization and its significance for Pakistan. SCO was established in 2001 and the basic purpose of this organization was to promote economic as well as security as well as cultural exchange between the member states. And when we talk about SCO, of course, it has evolved over years. It was established back in 2001 and Pakistan became permanent member of SCO in 2017. There are 8 permanent members of SCO, which includes China, Russia, Pakistan, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. Pakistan has always aimed for and has always advocated for promoting the regional prosperity and regional connectivity among the member states as well, and has been actively participating in the initiatives of SCO. In today's program, we will be diving into the history as well as challenges and future prospects of SCO. Of course, we know that the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, will be representing Pakistan in the SCO Council of Foreign Ministers meeting later this week. We will also be discussing the agenda of this SCO meeting, which is Secure SEO, and what it means for the region. And of course, we have seen that over the years SEO objectives has evolved over time. Previously, its focus was mainly on the security challenges that were witnessed by the region, and now it is, the discussions are more towards the economic integration of the region. In today's program, we will be talking about the challenges and future prospects of SCO, and to discuss this and more, I'm joined in the studios by Mr. Sheharyar, who is expert international affairs. With him, we're joined by Dr. Zafar Nawaz Jaspal, who is expert international affairs, and we are joined online by Dr. Hasnain, Javed, economist and expert international affairs, and we are also joined by Mr. Hamayoun, who is expert international affairs. A very warm welcome to you all in the program. Mr. Jaspal, let me start with you. When we talk about Shanghai Cooperation Organization, of course, this organization was established in 2001. Pakistan became a permanent member in 2017. How do you see, what was the basic purpose of this organization, and how do you see this has evolved over time?
Maryam, as you pointed out in your intro very rightly, that the SCO, when it was founded, it was entirely aimed on 3 important things: radicalized extremism, international terrorism, and at the same time separatist movements within the states.
Of course.
And from there onward, systematically it grew, and in 2006 onward, it was viewed, or it started expressing its concerns on this unipolarity, and they came up with this multipolarity concept that different states have different political cultures, they need different political systems. So it was a denial to the Americans' approach of regime change in the, where you can say Asia, or especially in the West Asia. From there onward, it grew, and Pakistan has been struggling to be a member of this since the very beginning. However, our struggles, we were the first, you can say, state which after the founding members, 6 founding members, I mean these 5 Central Asians plus China and the Russians, we were the member the state which bet for the membership or bid for the membership. And our bidding was followed by India, and as you pointed out, in 2017 we joined it as a full member. Now currently SCO still stick with its primary objective, that is the terrorism, extremism, radicalization. Besides it, it started looking the disaster management. For instance, the 4th meeting took place in which Pakistan's Climate and Environmental Minister Sheharyar participated online, and then it started looking security with a little bit more broader perspective. Of course, SCO is a multilateral forum, and according to its manifesto, or you can say constitution, bilateral issues are not allowed to be taken or discussed. SCO today grew up with the dialogue partners, with the aspiring state for a membership, observers, 4 observer states, and then many states are aspiring to be part. And virtually it is now representative of the uh, biggest population or one of the biggest multilateral forum after the United
Of
Nations.
course, and it represents, we know that more than 40% of the population of the
Yes.
world in its current status. So how do you see, Mr. Sheharyar, that it contributes to the global and regional security as well? Because we know that the prime focus of this organization initially was the security challenges faced by the region.
So, Maryam, the whole philosophy behind SCO and how it was formulated, and that because SCO is like mainly been initiated by China and Russia.
Of course.
So it's one of the very influential organizations that are also depicting or telling the world that the world has moved towards multipolarity.
Of course.
So this is like the only alliance outside, like most of the Western alliances are of Western focused.
Of course.
So this is the first alliance initiated by China and Russia. That's like from this region.
But of course, you mentioned that this was initiated by China and Russia. But do you see over time the Chinese influence is more on this organization rather than Russian influence? And of course, we also hear about these narratives that this bloc is kind of anti-Western. How do you see that?
Well, right now, if we try to say that it's anti-Western, I wouldn't really agree with it, because most of the countries that are part of this bloc have like a very strong affinity with Europe, and
they have
even
economic
the US.
relations with
They
those
have like
countries.
economically integrated with like most of the European and the US markets. So right now, saying that it's anti-Western wouldn't be really right to say that. But yes, when it comes to the whole dynamics of the Central Asian republics, and we've discussed that in various programs, they are very resource-rich countries. They are landlocked, and they are really dependent on. They're in between two major superpowers, which is like China and Russia. So they have like a lot of like influence, and China basically exports most of its goods through Central Asian republics that are a major part of this alliance. And again, now with the Russians, conflict that's going on in Ukraine, a lot of countries are not really, the Western Bloc is not really communicating with Russia at this time. And Russia is also now looking eastwards and southwards towards South Asia to like, take its goods and like services to this area. So that is why like SCO outside the Western Bloc is one of the most important alliances that are emerging in this whole geographical
Of course,
area.
SCO has emerged as one of the most important alliances when we talk about this region. Dr. Hasnain, how do you see, what are some of the major achievements of SCO so far?
See, the one of the major, what we call it, like main is the security related concerns. I mean, Hamayoun and Dr. Jaspal has rightly said that the main cause of this collaboration, the 8 members and then the observing state, is the main reason is just to get rid of the regional anti-terrorism structure, which is about the rats. And yesterday we talk about the rats, the
Of
anti-terrorist
course.
structure. So it is just to spoil the anti-terrorist structure, just to give the security concerns. And major part of this is just to inform the war part or other state undermine other political, economic, and social system. So the main cause of this whole plot of SEO means to securitize, just to create a buffer span for the whole of the SEO, Central Asian state,
Region, of
China,
course, member
Pakistan,
countries.
India, and the region. So main activities has been going on in the military activities over the past few years. The organization activities are expanded to include increased military cooperation, intelligence sharing, and the counter-terrorism. So at the same time, the leader of SCO state have repeatedly stated that the SCO is not military alliance. I'm focusing that it is not a military alliance. It is not against the Western power, but when West is saying that the Pakistan is involved in this, some terrorist activities, or when one of their any of the political parties says that we are involved in Afghanistan, if we are involved in Tajikistan or any of the terrorist activity within the Iran, then it is the platform where we can say that we are not part of anything, and we are not part of any alliance. It is the alliance for the military cooperation. It is the alliance for the sharing counter-terrorism. So this is, however, the military exercise are regularly conducted. This is very much
Of course,
important,
of
and
course.
Hamayoun,
So
yes,
when we talk about these achievements or whatever the agenda of this organization is, Mr. Hamayoun, how do you see that what steps has been taken by SCO so far to counter international terrorism and ethnic separatism, which were one of the basic purposes of this organization?
Thank you, Maryam. Yes, absolutely. Since its inception, first it was Shanghai 5 in 1996 when it was conceived. And then in 2001, it became Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And its main focus, as Dr. Jaspal earlier was alluding to, was fight against terrorism, extremism, and separatism. But to date, the priority of SCO has changed, or not necessarily changed, but evolved into many other factors and sectors as well. It's trade, it's energy, it's infrastructure, it's investment, it's national disaster management, which or disaster management authorities in different countries are basically working together. And then it's also Afghanistan is basically also one of the main reason as an observer member and also as an aspirant for the full membership is something which SCO members are focusing on. So its agenda has increased tremendously. And from if you see where SCO has evolved into, it became an observer in United Nations
Of course.
in 2005. Then it's also became a partner with UNESCO. It became partner with World Tourism Organization. Then it also became partners with United Nations Drug Office on Drugs and Crime. Then it became partner of the United Nations Economic Social Commission for Asia and Pacific. So its agenda has increased, and its main focus still to date is counterterrorism, as Dr. Hasnain was mentioning. It has regional counterterrorism structure, which is called RATS. We have joint exercises, sharing of information. We have done tremendous things together. In 2021, probably, if I'm not wrong, Pakistan held its second exercises in Pabi, which SCO members have come together to have joint exercises on counterterrorism as well. So
Right.
Pakistan as an important member, an organization has evolved tremendously over the years.
Of course, the organization has evolved tremendously over the years, but of course, when we talk about economic integration or economic cooperation, security challenges remain one of the main issues. So, how do you see, Dr. Jaspal, that SCO has achieved this objective of combating extremism, religious separatism, and other issues for the stability of the region?
I think that if you can see or critically examine over 2 decades SCO existence, we find that though it was focusing more on it, and there were not only theoretical focus, there was practical. They had within the SCO subcommittee or sub-organization which is looking about the training, and there are joint exercises. Russian troops came in Pakistan and the SCO related exercises took place and Pakistani troops participated. So sharing the common experiences, how to combat the militancy. So naturally, there is a success, there is a need of cooperation, there is a need of coordination, and at the same time, this also results into indirectly confidence building measures. If you see that the CPEC or the economic network of the today's Central Asian states, which are landlocked states, and the way the future projects are taking place, of course, there is a great contribution of the SCO in that context. Yes, it is generally when we see the SCO charter, we find that in that charter very categorically they mention it's a multilateral forum for the socio-economic development. So economic is a part of that, or without economic stability in the region, you cannot, you can say, overcome the challenges which are emanating from these societal disintegration or these kind of radicalization. Many analysts are going to criticize SCO with reference to what you call it SCO versus Quad, SCO versus AUKUS.
Of course, there's a lot of talk going on.
But it's not reality. Why? Because if you see the Quad, India is an important member of the Quad. And when India is sitting there and it is also sitting in SCO, how we can say that these two alliances are going to face each other. So SCO will remain addressing the non-traditional security challenges and distancing from the traditional security challenges.
Of course, we are talking about Shanghai Cooperation Organization and how it has evolved over years, its significance for Pakistan as well. We will be Welcome back. We are talking about SCO and how it has evolved over time. When we talk about Mr. Sheharyar, SCO, of course, we know that China and Russia were one of the important members, founding members of this organization. How do you see the role of China and Russia in the growth and development of SCO over the years and their influence in the region and over the member states?
So, Maryam, influence of China in this region is like already expanding. It's an expanding power. It has like a lot of energy needs. And most of the countries, excluding China, if you talk about Pakistan, if you talk about India, even Afghanistan at the time, they are net consumers of energy. So this whole region for growth and economic prosperity will be requiring a lot of like energy needs in terms of gas, in terms of like electricity, in terms of oil as well. This is like the fourth largest population in the world, which is like being covered by this regional alliance.
Of course. 40% of the population is covered by this.
The global population is covered under the SCO countries. So we can like see that with economic integration and with a lot of economic cooperation, and as all the esteemed members have already said, that SCO is like moving away from like the focus on mainly on security, and now it has included non-traditional security challenges. So that includes climate change as well. That includes energy security. That includes regional cooperation as well. So that's also being included in it.
Science and technology, information are also being put on the agenda when we talk about 2022 summit.
Exactly. So China's influence in this region will obviously increase, and because Russia is like now looking eastwards, Russia's influence and like the Russia's alliance with China, which is like emerging. And now we already know that this year Iran will also be attending, and it's set to become one of the members of SCO.
Right. So how do China and Russia coordinate their efforts within SCO?
So there are like various forums that have been developed. There are like subcommittees. There's like the regional terrorism alliance, and a lot of subcommittees that basically now focus on climate change and like various other non-traditional security challenges. Last meeting was held in Samarkand, where the whole agenda of SCO was expanded.
Of course.
And again, when it comes to security cooperation, Afghanistan remains the thorn in the whole. So there's like a lot of cooperation going on in that region as well. And we have to remember that Pakistan will always remain as a net security provider for this region. It has been the case for the last like 40 years, and this will also like continue. And when it comes to security related issues, which was the core purpose of SCO, Pakistan also suffers a lot from terrorism. And after the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan, terrorism incidents have increased in Pakistan the most. Obviously, a lot of other Central Asian republics are also facing terrorism, but like Pakistan is there and suffering the most. So the inclusion of Iran, India being part of this alliance as well, and Central Asian republics have this like mutual understanding that this issue of terrorism needs to be resolved, and Pakistan can take the forefront in that area.
Right. Mr. Hamayoun, when we talk about, of course, role of Russia and China in the development of SCO, how do you see they coordinate their efforts within the SCO, and how does it affect their relationship with other member states? Because, of course, we know that both are major powers. Their influence on the SCO is very vast. So how do you see that?
Basically SCO, as most of this team colleagues have earlier alluded to, it started in Central Asia with like 5 members in the past, and then we have 9 members, including Iran now, and then now it's expanding. Central Asia used to be Russia's area of influence for a very long time, but with Chinese and Russian collaborating on a very varied issues in international politics and international relations, their convergence of views have given this organization a bigger boost. So now they discuss and decide about a lot of issues together, and then they implement that. One of the questions you were earlier asking about the success of terrorism or anti-terrorism operations under the SCO.
Steps taken by SCO.
And there are like 5 very important steps which have been taken under this. There's a special forces drill. The SCO member states hold a regular joint military special forces drill to enhance the military capabilities of their security forces in counterterrorism. That's very important. Under that, there is also, everybody has mentioned that's the regional anti-terrorism structure, which was established a couple of years ago to facilitate intelligence sharing among member states and coordinate joint terrorism exercises. Pakistan has done that in 2021. The third one is very important. That's also a joint operation response plan. The member states have created this joint response operation plans that outlines the procedures for responding to terrorist attack if it happens within the territories of these countries. And then they have multilateral memorandum of understanding, which they signed in 2019, I guess, in Astana, which was basically on cooperation in fight against terrorism. This agreement basically emphasizes the importance of joint effort to combat terrorism, which means to prevent the use of internet for terrorism purposes, prevent the financing of terrorism, and that's also associated with Pakistan taking more action under the FATF. And then the scope of counterterrorism activities have expanded under the SCO over the years. So these are very, very important step because
These all
this
are very
region.
important steps, Mr. Hamayoun. But when we talk about India, of course, we keep on hearing the statements from Indian foreign minister as well as other ministers as well, where they keep on blaming Pakistan for terrorist activities within India and in the region as well. So how do you see these statements when we see that India is hosting SCO this year?
Well, that's very unfortunate in a sense that this year India has the presidency of the SCO,
India
and they are
is
holding summit
chair
level
of the
meetings, foreign
SCO this
ministers
year.
meetings. Yes, and most likely Foreign Minister of Pakistan is going to attend the Foreign Ministers Summit in Goa. What we have seen, India, whenever it has become a part of multilateral organization, it always uses that organization to fulfill its own national political objective, and that's the reason why SCO has been a failure. Not SCO, sorry, to correct myself,
SARC,
it's
SARC,
SARC.
of
SARC was
course.
one of the organization which has huge potential, but because of India's consistency that they want to discuss domestic issues, they always politicize different summits of SARC. SARC has become a rubber stamp as of now. But SCO, on the other hand, is an organization which consists of $17 trillion of economy of these eight, nine countries together. It has huge potential. It has the world biggest powers in it, Russia and China combined. So I think in this particular summit, and that's a very wise decision on the part of Pakistani foreign minister, that instead of like the political animosity which exists between both the countries, Pakistan choose to go there. Pakistan choose to represent itself in a
Represent,
multilateral
yes,
forum.
participate in the. Of course, Dr. Hasnain, this shows Pakistan's commitment to regional cooperation. So, how do you see these statements coming from Indian ministers blaming Pakistan for terrorist activities, and how do you see what benefits Pakistan has gained from Shanghai Cooperation Organization?
See, this is a very important time where Pakistan foreign minister has to go to has to go to Goa in India. It is same like the Musharraf went there in 2008, and he, I mean, crushed them with all of his answers. So Pakistan has decided very well, and it is a foreign decision to go there. It is a very positive sign. We must not have to dare. We have to have the negotiation on the basis of the economic. And economics is the only solution, and economics is the only revenge, what I can see. So Pakistan region in the SEO as a permanent member was backed by the China, while India's bid was backed by Russia.
Russia,
So the
of course.
decision to give permanent member to Pakistan and India facilitated regional integration and added to the organization a decisive role and efficiency in the central and the South Asian region. So, as full member, now both countries have an opportunity to enhance their political and economic cooperation, strengthen common policies with other members. And then, the Foreign Office has formally announced that Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari will represent Pakistan in Shanghai Cooperation SCO Council of the Foreign Minister in Goa. India is hosting Shanghai Cooperation SCO Council and the Foreign Minister meeting in May 4 and 5. And India Foreign Minister J. Shankar formally invited Pakistan to attend this meeting, which is very much important. We must have to go there. We must have to negotiate peace. We must have to create the peacekeeping countries. And if France and Germany go together after killing of the 100,000 of people killing, and they are now the best in the European Union. They are best in the under the economic zone. So why not we, and why we cannot play the diplomatic role with the India? So after 12 years
Of course, but
gap,
this
the
is a
forum is
multilateral
to
forum. The bilateral issues are not going to be discussed. This was also made clear by the Foreign Office. When we talk about, Dr. Jaspal, when we talk about, of course, Pakistan's role in SCO, how do you see Pakistan's membership, permanent membership of SCO has impacted its global standing in the regional as well as on different global issues?
I think that Pakistan is one of the most important states in this organization. And within this, when we look about the, you can say, charter of the SCO, and within the charter, the objectives of the SCO, Pakistan, or without Pakistan, the SCO cannot, you can say, accomplish its charter's objectives. And second, in a regional connectivity, Pakistan plays a great role. When we look about the terrorism or a militancy or extremism or separatist movement sponsored by the external element, Pakistan is suffering from all of them.
Of course.
When we are suffering, we have a great experience to handle them. And similarly, this experience can be shared with the other SCO members. So this is the first point on the security agenda. Yes, we can cooperate, and we are very important.
And the theme of this year's SCO is also secure SCO.
And then second is, it's a multilateral forum. And Pakistan is the 5th biggest state in the world, and it's a nuclear power, and it's located in a unstable region, and on all sides, how one can ignore Pakistan's role. And Pakistan has been playing a very constructive role. We are looking at the SCO as a multilateral forum, and that's why our foreign minister decided to participate in Goa meeting of the Foreign Office Council. I think he will be leaving tomorrow or day after tomorrow to participate for it, and it's a good decision. It's a right step in the right direction, and a confident. It's a reflection of Pakistan is a confident state, that it is not shy to be participating any multilateral forum and focusing on the regional come the international, you can say, security, even if we have to go to India, despite our having a bilateral conflict with India. In this context, if you see that many people have been looking this with the skepticism. No, there is no skepticism. There is a very clarity. If you do not participate at the multilateral forum, you are creating a vacuum for the others. So we are going there, and next time, maybe next year or the following year, Pakistan is going to host the SCO meeting. So then laterally we have to see what the Indians' role is. Second most important thing is that Pakistan, if you see, fundamentally agreed to the multilateral, bilateral forums. We encourage, or we are inclined for a cooperation, dialogue processes leading to the cooperation. Of course, India has obstructed, and as Hamayoun earlier pointed out, that India blocked the SAC functioning since 2016. SCO is a very interesting forum. There are two great powers in it.
Of course.
And India has no capacity to block anyone else in this forum. So that's why this forum is very important, and Pakistan's constructive role is going to strengthen forum's legitimacy, forum's practicality, and our mature decision to participate in this, even in Goa, also confirms that Pakistan believes in multilateralism, believes in dialogue, and believes in cooperation, and believe in a security for all.
Of course, Pakistan, it shows Pakistan's commitment to regional cooperation as well, and Pakistan's representation at these forums is important for regional integration and economic cooperation that we keep on discussing in our programs. We will be talking more about it, but back, we are talking about SCO and Pakistan's role in SCO, and as well as significance for Pakistan. When we talk about, of course, Pakistan's role in SCO, it is very important when we talk about it in the context of extremism and security challenges. But what do you see? What are some of the challenges that Pakistan faces as a member of SCO? Because we keep on hearing the statements that we discussed earlier from Indian ministers as well.
So Maryam, first of all, India is just like one of the 8 members of SCO. So India's influence in this regional bloc is not as much as it has the capacity, as we discussed earlier, to block SARC. So that kind of influence India doesn't have in SCO because it's led by China, it's led by Russia. So when it comes to the core objectives of this alliance, Pakistan has everything to gain by being a very important member of this alliance. When it comes to the whole terrorism issue, Pakistan is suffering from terrorism. Pakistan provides security to this region. Afghanistan is one of the major areas that need to be discussed. Iran is now becoming part of SCO. This year, Iran will be attending the meeting and will be incorporated into the 8 members as well in the meeting in Goa. Other than that, most of the states are Central Asian. So Pakistan has that whole discussion going on. We've been discussing regional connectivity, regional cooperation in all of our programs. And all of that is dependent on the cooperation that we have with the Central Asian republics. So keeping India aside, the rest of the countries are very important for the regional integration and regional cooperation that Pakistan is already working on. So when it comes to anti-terrorism and alliances, Pakistan has a key role to play, and all of these countries need to cooperate and coordinate. When it comes to economic integration, Pakistan will obviously benefit the most when this cooperation starts resolving the issues that are there. Other than that, climate change, Pakistan suffers, one of the countries that is suffering the most from changes in climate change and the devastation that Pakistan is going through in terms of floods. So that cooperation also comes from this region. Other than that, Pakistan is also giving a message to the world that it is like balancing its relationships between Russia, China and the West.
Of course.
When it comes to India, India is in a tough spot actually, because India is part of Quad. India is a very key player when it comes to the US national security policy, which is very Indo-Pacific. And a lot of academics and analysts are basically saying that policy focuses entirely on curtailing China's rise. So India is on a tough spot on how India wants to be a part of a progressive part of this region, whether it would want to become a key player when it comes to curtailing China's rise, or go towards the path of economic integration and cooperation.
India doesn't have, despite being the chair this year, India doesn't have a much power on this SCO summit. Of course, when we talk about regional connectivity, Dr. Hasnain, what do you see? What are some of the key initiatives that has been taken by Shanghai Cooperation Organization so far to enhance connectivity among the member states? When we talk about, of course, road and rail networks, are there some initiatives that are in progress?
See, of course, I mean, there are so many other things, they have focused on the regional connectivity, rather just the regional connectivity. They have created the economic development. And economic development in the region is very much important, as the CPAC is one of the, concerning part this time around. Maybe Pakistan inclusion of the SCO as a permanent member, or we can discuss the CPAC over there as an infrastructure development under the CPAC, which is the engender immense opportunity for the SCO member. So landlocked Central Asian state is the regional connectivity area. So SCO will serve as a platform of expression of the country's commitment to the peaceful regional cooperation. And this multilateral forum, other members may also learn from the Pakistan pursuit of the eradication of the terrorism and extremism. Moreover, the strategic chessboard, the regional bloc offer 2 vital prospects for the Pakistan foreign policy, which is the first, it will be present a positive and responsible image around the globe. And second is it will debunk, controvert narrative centered in the anti-CPAC rhetoric. So it is very much important for the Pakistan and India meetings between the both counterpart at the SCO can mitigate the friction, or to some extent to the leverage of the China and Russia can also thwart India malicious design of the turning SCO into another SARC. So this is very much important. We cannot be SARC. And remember, in 2005, SCO rejected the United States membership. So it is very much important part that SCO has designed ideology, and they will not compromise on their own ideology. So Pakistan and Afghanistan provide an shortest route for the India to connect to the Central Asia. So India must have to understand that they have to create the peace in Afghanistan, as they are creating the bad atmosphere there in Afghanistan for the trade, for the economics, for the regional connectivity. If there is no regional connectivity, peace in Afghanistan, there would be no Eurasian development. There is no Uzbekistan via Pakistan. There is no Kazakhstan via Pakistan. There is no Central Asian state via Pakistan. So we need to understand the myopic strategy towards the One Belt, One Road or initiative or the OBR or the CPAC is not in Indian national interest, since it is also in which says the excess of the Central Asian state market and exchange, many utilize their oil and gas reserves. So Pakistan may also enormously profit by becoming a security transit route for good and energy supply from the Central Asian to the India,
Of course. So
India,
Pakistan
vice
has,
versa.
of course, Pakistan has a key role. So, Mr. Hamayoun, of course, when we talk about SCO, how do you see what role has SCO played in promoting connectivity among the member states, and what are the challenges? How do you see the future prospects for this important regional organization?
Thank you, Maryam. You know, connectivity, be it regional or intra-regional, it has always a prerequisite for prosperity. And history has suggested that connectedness leads to interdependence, and that interdependence basically mitigates the conflicts. We have seen how European Union has done that. We have also seen in the case of ASEAN as well. So, in case of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, I guess there are multiple projects which are under discussion. A couple of years ago, 2 years ago, Uzbekistan proposed South Asia, Central Asia connectivity project. The other day, we were discussing about Kazakhstan, China, and from China to Gawada. That's part of the Belt and Road Initiative, and then on towards China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So these 8 and 9 members, Iran is now a member as well. Hopefully, it'll get the full membership in coming days. It has been accepted as a full member. There is a vast majority of resources. There's a vast majority of areas in which they could connect with each other, and there's discussion going on. For example, there's a project of Mazar Sharif and Herat railway link. Then there's Mazar Sharif in Peshawar. Then there is Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan. We have also mentioned 2 of the railway links Dr. Hasnain was mentioning in the other program the other day.
Right. So
if
these all important links. Of course, these all important links connects and enhances the connectivity amongst the member states. Dr. Jaspal, briefly, how do you see the future prospects for this important regional organization, and what initiatives should be further taken upon by the member states?
I think that one of the key way to analyze this future is that all the member states are participating despite having the differences like India and Pakistan. So this confirms the SCO significance, that despite this, our foreign minister is going, despite our differences with India, is going to participate in this. Second important thing is the new membership aspirants. For example, Saudi Arabia and Iran, they are very much aspiring for it. Saudi Arabia is poised for this thing. Mongolia and Afghanistan are there. Turkey is the observers and very active. You can participating in the sidelines, or you can say as a part of this.
Right.
So it's a canvas, or you can say membership broadening is making it more multilateral and leading towards let me repeat what Hamayoun rightly said, that when you have this kind of organization, it leads to cooperation, cooperation leads to connectivity, and connectivity leads to interdependency, which leads to mitigating the conflicts in the region.
Of course, mitigating the conflicts in the region. Mr. Sheharyar, shortly tell us that how can non-member states, of course, a lot of countries are interested to become members of SCO. How can they benefit from this, and what needs to be done, what initiatives should be further taken by SCO member states to enhance connectivity and cooperation in the SCO?
So, Maryam, the future of this region and the future of prosperity lies in interdependence and economic development and economic integration. So that is the only area where we should be focusing on. We need to all the member states in this region need to resolve all the conflicts that are still there, and get all of the other players like Turkey, Saudi on board as soon as possible. Iran is becoming a permanent member, full member this year anyways, and I think that will pave way for Saudi and Turkey to join in the coming
of course, and there is a lot of potential when we talk about member and non-member states as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Sheharyar Khan. Thank you very much, Dr. Zafar, Nawaz, Jaspal, for being with us in today's program. Thank you very much, Dr. Hasnain, Javed, for joining us in today's program. Thank you very much, Mr. Hamayoun. We discussed about Shanghai Cooperation Organization and how this organization has evolved over time. It has become a crucial platform in the region for cooperation among the member states, and it presents a lot of opportunities for economic integration amongst the member states and to Pakistan as well. That's all from Game Changer tonight. Take care.